What's up guys, Warlock Customs here, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Warlock Build-A-Figure series. This is Wolverine or Old Man Logan, whatever you want to call him. It looks pretty cool, nice art right there. Here he is in the back. Very sought after figure for some people. And let's take a look at him. Alright guys, so here he is out of the box, and I have to say, before I opened him up, I did my research. The last comic book I read was actually X-Men vs. the Inhumans, and Old Man Logan is already in it. He's actually another Logan from another universe. The one in the main universe, 616, actually died, quote quote, so he's actually taking his place. But I was really interested in him, seeing what he's all about. I finally read Old Man Logan, and wow, Jesus Christ, that is a crazy, crazy comic book. Definitely not for kids, I have to say that. And I'm surprised it took me so long to read that, but if you haven't, definitely pick it up. It is a great read. Now I'm really interested in this character a lot more. I'm gonna go get the other ones and read up when he came over finally to the new universe and stuff like that. But reading those comic books makes me even like this figure even more now, so he is pretty cool. Let's get to him now, but I just want to say that off the bat because he's a very, very interesting character. Alright, so looking at the figure himself, he actually does not come with any build pieces for Warlock, even though he's in the same wave. No extra accessories, no extra hands, no non-claw hands. It's just what you see is what you get on him. He's pretty cool looking. I like how he looks though. The claws on these hands, actually you could take the claws off, which is a plus. You know, at least you have that to do. You can do that at least, so that's pretty nice to have that option. But overall, he is a new sculpt, so that's pretty nice. So let's take a look at his face sculpt first. Alright, so taking a look at his head sculpt first, I like it a lot. It's very reminiscent of the comic book, how he looks like right now. The hair looks pretty good, nice and short. He has his sideburns going down over there, the chops. Face looks pretty good too. I like the wrinkles. I also like the fact that his frown, he doesn't have some crazy dramatic face like I'm screaming or something like that. It's a nice looking frown. He looks angry, he looks old, he looks grumpy. It's a good face to have. You can work with that for a lot of different poses. But overall it looks pretty nice. Going down to the rest of the body, he is sporting a nice looking small jacket right here. Nice material as well. Good, you know, fake, whatever you want to call it, rubber. But the detail is really nice. The paintwork is awesome as well. Really weathered down looking. The zipper is pretty nice too. Surprisingly, you can feel the zipper as well, all the grooves on it. Going into the shirt, plain red shirt right there. And going down to right here, his belt. Look at the detail on that belt and the belt buckle. Pretty nice. And going down to the pants, normal pants, but his shoes are really styling. He has a nice design right there. But overall, I want to point out this is a new sculpt for Wolverine, so he's a little bit bigger compared to the other one, which is kind of weird. But it is fantastic. There's a lot of hidden details all over the place. I think a lot of people might overlook it and not realize how much detail or paintwork has gone into this. Like even on the jacket, it's pretty nice too. The material, the detail, the sculpting on this body, on the jacket, even over here. I think people take it for granted. It's a pretty good looking figure, and I like it a lot. Alright, so going to articulation really quickly, he has a ball jointed head on a hinge. It goes up about that far, goes down pretty good. He's soaking and he is sad, moping around left and right, no problems there. Pivot, of course, you have that. Going down to the shoulders, he has normal shoulder hinge joints, go up and down, in and out, no problems there. Bicep swivel, 2 points at the elbow, a little stiff right there. But on the wrist, he has a swivel and a hinge, that's pretty normal as well. Going to the ab joint right here, goes back one click, pretty much straight, pretty much. Goes forward pretty good as well. Let me zoom out a little bit, hard to see. Going down to the waist, he has a swivel at the waist, and you can hear the almost like a ratchet joint in there. It's kind of loose, but it clicks in, so it's kind of interesting. Something new that maybe they're doing, or maybe just for this specific figure. Going to the hips, T-jointed hips, they go about that far up. Not horrible, not bad. Don't go back at all. Split, that's all you get. Thigh swivel right there. 2 points at the knee and at the boot or the ankle. He does have a hinge right there, and also he does have a, this is interesting, he has a hinge, that's normal. He has a pivot that is normal too, but if you look really closely, right here, he actually has a swivel too. On that piece right there, it must be connected underneath this, but the whole thing does swivel left and right, so you have an extra articulated joint right there. So overall, articulation is pretty standard, what you expect, and it's pretty nice. No complaints at all, really, and it's pretty good. Alright, so for the first size comparison right here, of course we have to put the Hulks in there, because if you read the comic book, you understand that. But overall, it looks pretty good. This is my two main Hulks right here. I don't even have a Marvel Legends Hulk anymore because I think I love this one the most, to be honest. But overall, pretty good, comparable size. He should be a lot smaller compared to any Hulk anyway. Next size comparison right here, we do have the other Wolverine that came out recently, which is an awesome Wolverine. Surprisingly, they're not the same size. This one's a little bit taller, a little bit bigger overall. But still great Wolverines. Maybe that's on purpose because he is not from the same universe. Maybe he's a little bit bigger, who knows. But overall, looks pretty good. Also to note, as people pointed out, you cannot switch the heads around because they have different ball joints. This one is a little bit bigger compared to this one. So I mean, you could pretty much just do like this if you wanted to, but it's not going to be flush on. So there you go. Next up right here, we do have Deadpool and Spider-Man right here, Morales right there, so you can see a nice size comparison between them. Deadpool basically is a pretty much standard size Marvel Legends, and of course Spider-Man here is just a little bit small, so you can see how they stack up. Alright, so next up right here we have the new, some members of the new Gold X-Men team right here, which is pretty interesting because when I did my review on Colossus, I was pretty not up to date on what's going on, and I didn't know that Kitty Pryde is now the new X-Men leader, and they're all part of the same team now, so go fig, right? But yeah, so here is some of the new members of the X-Men Gold. And for another size comparison, here is Hawkeye. If you've read a comic book, you know why I have him up there. And of course we have Rogue, because Wolverine and Rogue is a nice pairing to see side by side. Alright, for our last size comparison right here, we have a Toy Biz Wolverine Logan figure right here. Again, we have the other Hasbro Wolverine. And surprisingly, they're all pretty similar in height. I don't know why this one feels the biggest. I think because he's the widest, maybe. But height-wise, I'm surprised at how comparable, especially this one is. Because this one always felt so tiny. And you stand up next to him right now, he's really not as short as you thought. Or maybe he is shorter than he looks, maybe. Who knows? But there you go. Alright guys, so basically I like this figure a lot. To be honest, like I said before, when I first bought the figure, I didn't know that much about Old Man Logan at all. You know, the new Wolverine movie, the new Logan movie came out, and I just, let's get it. New figure to review. And then I read the comic books, and man, I am so invested in this character. I understand why everyone wants this guy. He is not the same Logan as this guy, remember that. He's a different Logan from a different universe, has a whole different backstory and different, you know, different character altogether, basically. Very cool. You know, if you have your own bin of parts, try to get a hat on him. It looks a lot cooler. Right? There you go. And yeah, so I'm definitely going to read up on his own specific comic book line, you know, when he first came to Earth, you know, the main universe, and he realized that it wasn't his own world, and he tried to do all this stuff, so it's pretty interesting. I'm definitely going to go into that. Some key things I want to talk about, like I said before, you could take off the claws if you want to do that. Also, I do wish that this one came with a longer jacket, just like in the comic books, or I do wish that he had no jacket at all. That would not a lot nicer because he always has to fight with his jacket on, you know, whatever. But other than that, awesome guy, very cool. And like I said before, I am very invested in him. And if you guys knew about that stuff, you guys obviously, I'm pretty sure some of you have read Old Man Logan way before I did. And I have to give you a round of applause because I wish I knew this information a lot longer, you know, earlier. He is so cool. Yeah. Alright guys, so that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and like always, comment, criticize, subscribe, do whatever you want, pay attention. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go to wildandcustoms.com. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Peace!